A wealthy wife asks a fortune teller for a secret, to have a son. The fortune teller says unless she cheats on her husband, she'll never have a baby boy in her life. He adds that her husband will have a son with another woman first. Soon the wife gives birth again. When the husband hears it's another girl, he angrily storms out to drink with friends. When the wife asks her mother-in-law where he went, the old woman snaps. Having one more daughter isn't special. She ignores the newborn baby and the weak wife going home. Meanwhile, the drunk husband stumbles home very late. Their pretty maid comes to greet him while checking his blood pressure. They suddenly kiss. His eldest daughter sees this. The grandmother notices, but doesn't stop them. She tells the girl not to disturb them and pulls her away. Later, the wife returns home after recovering. She asks her daughter, "How are you getting along with the new maid?" The child innocently says, "She's always with daddy." The wife rushes to confront the maid upstairs. She finds the maid vomiting. Seeing the maid's slightly swollen belly, she remembers the fortune teller's words, "Your husband will have a child with another woman first." Furious, she slaps the maid. The maid kneels, begging for her life. The mother-in-law arrives, scolding the wife. "You've been married 7 years without bearing a son. How dare you, envious servant?" She orders pork knuckle soup to nourish the maid. The wife realizes her mother-in-law approved this affair. After she leaves, the wife demands the maid Misan abort the baby or both will die. She sends the butler to take Misan to the hospital to abort the baby. No mother could bear to kill her own child. Misan asks a nurse how to find the hospital's back exit. At her pleading, the nurse leads Misan to the back door. She even gives her some money to help her escape. The butler tells the rich lady that Misan has disappeared. The rich lady remembers the fortune teller's words. She is destined to have no son with her husband. Heartbroken by this thought, she nearly collapses to the floor. Luckily, the quick butler catches her in time. Looking at him, she recalls the fortune teller's other words. She might have a son if it's with someone else. Otherwise, she will never have a son. To protect her status and ensure an heir for her wealthy husband's fortune, she hugs the butler and asks him to stay with her tonight. Soon after, she tells the butler she's pregnant with his child. She's sure it will be a son. To secure their son's inheritance, she orders the butler to find Misan and eliminate the baby in her womb to avoid future trouble. Meanwhile, Misan, now heavily pregnant, works as a nurse at a private clinic unbeknownst to her. The butler has tracked her down. Desperate, Misan sneaks away and hides in an abandoned house. But just then her labor begins. Overwhelmed by pain, she cries out, alerting the nearby butler. Facing the furious butler, Misan endures the pain and kneels, begging him to spare her and her baby. Moved by her plea, the butler softens. He takes Misan to the hospital to deliver the baby safely. The birth goes smoothly. Misan has a baby boy, but the butler doesn't leave. He waits outside, ready to take the child. He tells the doctor to warn Misan. If she hands over the baby, she won't be harmed. But how could Misan bear to give away her own flesh and blood? Even weakened from childbirth, she decides to sneak away with her baby, but the butler is already waiting for her. Misan begs the butler again. She asks him to pretend he never found them. As long as he doesn't take her child, she'll obey any order he gives. The butler seems moved by Misan's love for her child. He lets her leave with the baby, but on one condition: she must never try to find the rich man again. She must hide far away and live quietly. If he ever sees them again, he'll kill both her and the child. But the butler doesn't realize that this decision will start a fierce battle over the family fortune. Meanwhile, the rich man's wife, who is pregnant with the butler's child, looks at their grand mansion and tells her unborn baby, "All of this will be yours one day. I'll protect you. Your mother has already removed every obstacle. No one will stand in your way." But she doesn't know the butler. Let Misan escape. Misan is already on a train, disappearing from sight. Many years later, Misan is still hiding in the countryside, raising her child alone through hardship, maybe because the child has the rich man's blood. He's smart and mischievous. His mother often chases him to scold him, but he always dodges her cleverly. The boy's name is Taku. Misan named him after the name the rich man once chose, hoping he would grow up to be the best. Meanwhile, the rich wife's son has also grown up. His name is Majun. Raised in luxury, he's spoiled and selfish. To prepare him for the family business, his father takes him to inspect a bakery, but Majun looks completely uninterested. Since the rich man started with a bakery, Taku has an amazing sense of smell. He can tell what's inside a bread from far away. He stares at the delicious bread, but he's too poor to even taste it. What he doesn't know is his real father owns bakeries all over the country. Just then his friend James shows off. James brags about being able to eat bread because his dad works at the bakery. Wanting Taku to taste bread too, James takes him to his father's bakery to steal some bread. As they're leaving with their loot, James' dad catches them. The boys immediately run away and nearly get killed. When they're hit by a car, the rich owner's inspection vehicle. The owner wonders why children are running around his bakery. When bread falls from the boys' pants, he understands everything. They're bread thieves. He decides to call the police, but he doesn't know. This boy is actually his own son. Taku never expected things to get this serious. He kneels and begs for forgiveness. Instead of forgiving him, the rich owner scolds Taku. You steal but won't take responsibility. This isn't how a real man behaves. You don't deserve mercy. These words hurt Taku's pride. He secretly vows to regain his dignity someday. Both boys are taken to the police station. Misan angrily scolds her son for stealing bread. Taku explains he just wanted to try it. He thought all that bread was meant to be eaten. This makes Misan even sadder. She's too poor to buy her son his favorite bread. When police say the giant group owner brought her son in, Misan freezes. Could this be the same rich man who got her pregnant when she was his maid? He actually sent his own son to the police station. Misan wants to confront her ex-lover, demanding he release her son. But when she sees the butler who once threatened to kill her if she didn't leave the rich man's side, Misan backs away. That night the rich man calls. He says he just wanted to teach the naughty boy a lesson. He tells the police to release Taku. But Taku can't sleep at night. He remembers the rich man's words. To regain his pride as a man, he decides to collect scrap to repay the stolen bread money. He wants to get his dignity back from the rich man. With his friends' help, Taku quickly collects enough money. He goes to the bakery to return the money. He asks the rich man to take back his words. He tells him he can stand hunger, but can't stand shame. His words make the rich man interested in him. The rich man asks his name. Taku proudly says, Tak like excellent, Gu like pursuit. Hearing this, the rich man freezes. He remembers what Misan once told him. Misan said their child would be called Taku. Tak like excellent, Gu like pursuit. The rich man takes back his words and says Taku is a brave boy who takes responsibility. After Taku bows to the rich man, he walks away proudly with his head held high. The rich man laughs loudly at Taku's brave behavior. He believes Taku will grow up to be a successful man. But this reaction from the rich man makes Majun unhappy. He has never made his father laugh so happily before. He's jealous that Taku could do it. But what he doesn't know is he isn't the rich man's real son. He's actually the butler's biological son. After returning, the rich man wants to find out if Taku is his secret child. He asks the butler to investigate Taku's mother. When everything seems normal, something unexpected happens. The butler thinks the maid planned everything. Bringing the rich man's secret son near his bakery was all part of her scheme. She made her son Taku appear before the rich man on purpose. So this time the butler vows to get rid of Taku for good. Then he drives off in the car when Misan returns home and prepares to run away again. She finds her son is missing. She panics. She asks all the neighbors if they've seen Taku. No one has spotted him. For years Misan and her son have lived life on the run, no matter how hard it gets. Just seeing her smart boy makes it all worthwhile. Now that he's gone, she breaks down. What she doesn't know is Taku is actually with the girl he likes. When he finally comes home, Misan checks him for injuries. Taku looks confused. He doesn't know someone wants him dead. His mother hugs him tightly. The butler watches from a distance, maybe feeling sorry for them. He doesn't act. Little does he know this moment of weakness will cost him dearly. The butler lies to the rich man, saying Taku's mother isn't the Misan he's searching for. Meanwhile, Misan packs their bags ready to run again. But Taku refuses. He's tired of running. He won't leave his new friends. He tells his mom he's grown up and wants his own life. It's time to stop hiding. No more life on the run. Misan realizes her mistake. She once promised to make him the best man alive. Now that he's grown, instead of hiding, they'll fight back. Time for Taku to meet his rich dad. Next morning, Misan dresses up nicely and takes Taku to the place where she once worked as a nanny. Taku is stunned by the huge, luxurious mansion. He freezes in shock. Then his mother tells him, "This is your father's house." Taku is even more confused. A guard sees them trespassing and rushes to stop them. Misan tells the guard, "Go tell your boss right now." Misan is here with her son to see him. He'll know what this means. But when someone comes out to greet them, It's the butler who tried to kill them. Misan ignores her own safety, grabs her son, and charges inside. Before they take 2 steps, the butler orders guards to drag Misan out. Smart Taku realizes his mom is in danger. Without hesitation, he runs straight into the mansion. By the time the butler reacts, Taku is already inside. He runs while shouting, "Someone, please save my mom." With the butler chasing him, Taku bursts into his rich father's ongoing birthday party. The rich man is confused. He just saw this kid at the bakery days ago. Why is he here now? Suddenly, the butler appears and tries to drag him away. Taku yells, "Please save my mom. This man took my mom away." The rich man says, "Wait, where's your mom?" Taku tells his mom, "I brought the house owner to you." Taku never expected his mom brought him to meet his father. When Misan sees the rich man, she politely bows first, then tells her son, "Call him dad." Everyone at the party freezes in complete shock. Father and son finally reunite after years apart. When the rich man's mother hears the nanny she searched for has returned with her grandson, her old leg pain disappears. She rushes out to seeing her handsome grandson, who looks just like his father. She nods in satisfaction. The rich man finally understands that his butler lied about investigating Misan's identity earlier. He lied to him. The rich man asks the butler why he did this. The butler says he did it to protect the family's harmony. That's why he lied. But the rich man doesn't know that the butler and the rich wife are working together. He just warns the butler not to interfere with his family matters again. He should just do his job. Then the rich man meets Misan. He thinks Misan only came to see him now because she wants money after all these years. But he doesn't know how hard Misan worked to raise their child alone or how much she suffered. She's been running away to escape the rich wife's threats. She only came back now to keep Taku safe. Misan doesn't tell him about the rich wife's threats. She only asks him to let Taku stay and grow up safely. She doesn't want money. She believes this is the safest place for her son. With tears, Misan tells Taku, "Only by living here can you become the best person you can be. No matter what happens in the future, face it bravely, like a man." Taku nods to his mother. Misan leaves hiding her heartbreak. Taku, who's never been apart from his mother, cries like a baby. He doesn't understand why she left him. He'll understand her choice when he grows up. Meanwhile, the rich wife refuses to accept Taku. She slaps him immediately. She can't accept this reality and thinks Taku will steal her son's inheritance. She promises to make Taku's life miserable. Abandoned by his mother, Taku sits on the floor sadly. He doesn't understand why his mother left him here alone. He's even more confused. How did he suddenly get a father out of nowhere? All of this is the adult's fault, but he's the one who has to suffer for it. Even Ma-jun, the young master of the house, calls him a beggar who's clinging to their family. He tells Taku to get out of the house, or he'll make his life miserable. Taku clenches his fist, ready to punch him, but a servant interrupts by calling them for dinner. Soon after, Taku writes a letter to his mother. He tells her he's eating well here, sleeping well, and his new classmates are kind. He gets along with them just fine. He's also grown close to the family here. His sister Ja-kyung helps him with his homework. His another sister, Ja-rim, plays fun games with him and tells him interesting stories. Even Ma-jun invites him to play soccer with his friends. Every day here is happy. The lady of the house likes him too, always looking out for him. So his mother doesn't need to worry. She should just take care of herself. His mother reads the letter and cries, relieved that he's doing well. But what she doesn't know is her son is living a miserable life. When Ja-kyung's mechanical pencil goes missing, she blames Taku for stealing it. But he doesn't know. Ma-jun framed him on purpose. Ma-jun hid the pencil in Taku's drawer. Taku never stole anything. He can't stand being falsely accused, so he raises his hand to hit Ma-jun. This time their grandmother stops him. She doesn't scold Ma-jun. Instead, she teaches Taku a lesson. Some people in the world will treat you well, but many more will look down on you. If you only solve problems with your fists, it won't help you in life in this family. You'll face many more situations like this. You must learn to endure. But this lesson from his grandmother will shape Taku's future. This lesson helps Taku throughout his life. That night something strange happens. Taku smells bread baking from miles away. With his super sense of smell, he follows the scent to its source. He sees his father making secret recipe bread. This is his father's private space where no one is allowed. But when his father sees Taku, he doesn't scold him. Instead, he wonders how his newly found son knew about this place. Learning Taku found it by smell. He remembers his teacher's words. Some test dough by touch to know ingredients. but rare geniuses can smell dough and know exactly what's in it. Such people appear once in 1,000 years. He never thought his son would be a baking prodigy. He takes both sons to the bakery to test Taku's ability. He prepares 4 dough balls. Majun touches them and answers immediately. The third one is best for bread. But Taku's method is unusual. He smells them. After 2 sniffs he concludes, none of these are good for bread. His nose detects each dough's fermentation level. None meet his standards. Hearing this, his father grins like a happy child. He says, Majun is correct, but Taku's answer is more precise. He can smell dough's fermentation, a once-in-a-millennium baking genius. But the butler frowns at Taku's praise. He's displeased. The father decides to teach both sons his baking secrets. Meanwhile, his wife hears he brought his illegitimate son to the bakery. She rushes over immediately. She doesn't want Taku, who comes from a poor background, to compete with her son Majun for the family fortune. Her purpose in coming to the bakery is to embarrass her husband. She ignores her husband's dignity and scolds him in front of the workers for having an affair with the maid and raising an illegitimate child behind her back. Then she storms off with her son Majun. She refuses to let her son learn baking with Taku. But she doesn't realize that her own affair with the butler has made her husband a laughingstock at home. Her eldest daughter says she acted foolishly without thinking of the consequences. She reminds her mother, doesn't the maid Misan live near the bakery? By making a scene, you're just pushing father to go see that woman. The rich wife freezes in shock. She notices it's past the time when her husband usually comes home. She knows what's happening. Just as she feared, the rich man, led by Taku, goes to see his old flame Misan. Misan is overjoyed to see her long-lost son. The rich man thanks her for raising such a talented boy under such difficult conditions. They talk for hours. When the rich man returns home late, his wife is furious. She yells at him for seeing that shameless woman. They reminisce about their past separation. Facing his hysterical wife, the rich man can only scratch his head. He tells her, looking at you like this, I don't even feel like arguing anymore. Stop making a scene in front of me. Angry, the rich wife goes to the butler and throws herself into his arms. You're my man, and the father of my son, Majun. I only want one thing, for our son to inherit everything. The butler says, I'll help you get whatever you want. Their conversation is overheard by the rich man's mother. She's stunned. The grandson she raised, Majun, isn't her real grandson. As the butler leaves, the rich mother has been waiting for them for a while to keep this secret safe. The daughter-in-law kneels and begs for her mother-in-law's forgiveness, pleading with her not to tell anyone the secret. During their struggle, the already weak rich mother accidentally falls to the ground, seeing her unconscious mother-in-law. The daughter-in-law tries to help her up, but the butler stops her. He tells the rich wife to leave immediately and pretend nothing happened. This is the only way to keep their son's identity secret. They decide to make it look like the rich mother fell by accident, leaving without caring whether she lives or dies. They walk away. Later the butler cleans up the scene carefully, but he doesn't notice that the rich wife's bracelet fell on the ground. Strangely, while the rich man is still sleeping, he hears someone knocking. When he opens the door, no one is there. He goes to the living room to look and finds his mother's door open. He discovers his mother isn't in her room. He rushes outside to search and finds her lying on the ground. After taking her to the hospital, the doctor tells him his mother was already in poor health, and, being out in the rain for so long, he should prepare for the worst. The rich mother dies before revealing the secret. She just looks at Taku and calls him grandson before closing her eyes. At the funeral, everyone stays inside mourning, except Majun, who steps outside feeling guilty. He had actually witnessed what his mother and the butler did that night. He didn't stop them because he already knew he wasn't her real grandson. After his mother and the butler left, Majun went to his grandmother. He picked up his mother's dropped bracelet. Then he heard his grandmother calling for help. He first asks her to forgive his mother's actions. He tries to help grandma up, but he's too young and can't lift her. So he opens grandma's door instead, then goes to knock on his father's door so dad will notice grandma's missing. This way dad will go look for her. But even so, he can't stop the tragedy. His sister comes to comfort him, asking what's wrong. Majun doesn't tell anyone. Maybe he's afraid of losing his rich life? The rich lady blames everything on Taku and Misan. If they hadn't appeared, this wouldn't have happened. She tells the butler she never wants to see Taku and Misan again. So the butler hires a killer. He finds a violent drunk man to get rid of Misan first. This scene is seen by the drunk's daughter, Yu Kyung, who happens to be Taku's classmate. Hearing Taku's mom is in danger, she immediately sends him a telegram telling him to come back fast. Taku tells his father after getting the message, but his father won't let him go. Father wants Taku to forget his past and become the family heir to protect the family's reputation. He won't let Taku see his mother again. Meanwhile, the drunk man arrives at Misan's house. The violent drunk kidnaps Misan, taking her to the mountain. This scene is seen by the drunk's daughter Yu Kyung. She runs home immediately and tells everything to Taku, who just escaped the rich house. Hearing his mom's in danger, Taku runs straight to the mountain. As the drunk is about to hurt Misan, a mysterious man, Jack, appears. He punches the drunk down. Misan thinks he's here to save her, but Jack pulls out a gun from his pocket. When Taku arrives, his mother has already disappeared. Then he hears his mother calling his name, but Misan has already been kidnapped into Jack's car. No matter how fast Taku runs, he can't catch up. He can only watch helplessly as Jack takes his mother away. While running, Taku swears he will save his mother. He prays she'll wait for him. Taku asks people around if they've seen that car, but he doesn't notice Jack with a windmill tattoo on his arm buying bread right beside him. Taku just watches curiously as Jack leaves. When Misan sees Jack return, she asks him, "Did the butler and madam send you to kill me?" But Jack just says proudly, "Eat quickly. We have a long way to go. You'll never see your son again." Then he drives away quickly. As the car moves on a dark country road, they almost hit an oncoming cart. Misan uses this chance to escape. While running, she prays to heaven to help her return to her son. But Jack chases after her. Heaven does help Misan, but the night is too dark. She doesn't see the cliff ahead. She slips and falls into the water below. Mother and son share one heart. At the same time, Taku, who's searching for his mother, trips and falls. He returns to his mother's place, crying while looking at their photo. Then the butler finds him unable to find his mother. Taku is taken home the next day. His father asks, "You ran away. Did you see your mother?" Taku cries, "Bad men took her. I searched everywhere, but couldn't find her." His father comforts him, "Don't worry. I'll handle finding your mother. I'll take care of finding your mother. You must never do this again," running away from home without a word. But the father comforts his son this way because he already knows about Misan's accident. The thug with the windmill tattoo is someone he sent. Jack tells the rich man, even after searching for so long, Misan must have drifted away with the river. All of this is the rich man's selfish plan. He wants Taku to become the family's eldest son because of Taku's background. To protect the family's reputation, he wants Taku to forget his past, even his mother. After seeing the letter Taku left before running away, the rich man immediately sends Jack to take Misan far away before Taku finds her. But an accident happens instead. Soon after, Taku gets a letter from his classmate Yu Kyung. She writes to him, "I heard from my drunk father. The man who took your mother has a windmill tattoo on his arm. And your family's butler. I saw him giving money to my drunk dad. He ordered my dad to kidnap your mom." Just then the butler appears out of nowhere. He tells Taku, "Your mother's life is in my hands. If you leave your rich father's house forever, I'll take you to see her." Desperate to save his mother, Taku believes him. He leaves a letter for his father. "I'm going to find my mother. Please don't look for me." But instead of finding his kidnapped mother, the butler sells him to human traffickers. When Taku sees the butler drive away, he realizes he's been tricked. Quick thinking, Taku bites the trafficker's leg and escapes in the chaos. Just as he's about to be caught, an old man spots him and saves him. When the old man gives him bread, Taku uses his natural sense of smell to guess. The old man is a baker. Note next context entries not translated as per instructions. The old man is amazed. Such a rare talent comes once in 1,000 years. He's sure to become a baking genius in the future. If Taku weren't in a hurry to find his mother, the old man would take him as his apprentice. The old man wonders how Taku plans to find his mother alone. Taku tells him, "I know the bad guy who took my mother. He has a pinwheel tattoo on his wrist. Finding this man will lead him to his mother." And so Taku sets off alone to search for his mother. Watching Taku walk away, the old man says, "If fate allows, we'll meet again." But Taku has no idea that his mother has already fallen off a cliff and drifted ashore with the river. For 12 years, Taku never gives up looking for her. He masters martial arts and fights local bullies. He does this to find the person with the pinwheel tattoo. People with such tattoos are more likely to be troublemakers. One beaten thug tells his boss about Taku. The gang leader shows his pinwheel tattooed arm and growls. Who dares mess with me? He wants to teach Taku a lesson. The gang leader orders his men to deliver a message. If you want the pinwheel guy, come find me. Taku gets the message and rushes straight to the gang's hideout without hesitation. He fights the gang leader. With his skills, he defeats the whole gang. But the gang leader isn't the one he's looking for. His tattoo has an extra line. Under Taku's questioning, the gang leader admits he saw a man with the same tattoo in prison 7 years ago. He thought it looked cool, so he copied it with an extra line. He tells Taku that man is now free and works at the famous Palbong bakery. Hearing this, Taku, badly injured, drags himself toward Palbong bakery. Despite his injuries, Taku drags himself to Palbong bakery. He collapses just as he's about to find the bad guy. Luckily, he's still breathing. When someone finds him, he dreams of his childhood, when his mother was by his side. He hugs his mother tightly. Where have you been? He asks. I've been looking for you for so long. But in reality, he's holding another girl's hand. When Taku wakes up, he realizes it was all just a dream. Embarrassed, he asks the girl, where am I? The girl replies, this is Palbong bakery, my dad owns it. Hearing this, Taku immediately runs outside. Sure enough, he spots the bad guy with the windmill tattoo on his arm, but he can't see the man's face. When Taku rushes back to the bakery to check who has the windmill tattoo, the manager stops him. The manager won't allow any trouble in his shop and kicks Taku out. Taku kneels and begs to be let in. I've searched for this man for 12 years, he says. If I see him, I'll know where my mother is. I've lived like an animal all these years, going everywhere just to find him. But the manager still refuses to let him in. Determined to enter, Taku kneels from morning till night. The next day, as the scorching sun nearly defeats Taku, an old man holds an umbrella over him. Why are you kneeling outside my bakery? The old man asks. Taku explains, I'm looking for a man with a windmill tattoo who works here. The old man studies Taku's familiar face, remembering the boy he saved 12 years ago. That boy had mentioned searching for a windmill tattoo too. Now, after 12 years, he meets Taku again, all grown up and still searching for his mother. Seeing this as his chance, he gives Taku 2 ways to enter the bakery. 1. Buy bread. 2. Learn to make bread. Knowing poor, Taku will definitely choose option 2. When bakery staff see Taku enter the shop, they're all shocked. Then they bow. When the owner walks in, the manager asks his father, how did this guy get in? Father explains, we've made a deal. He'll take the bread test. Turns out everyone must pass a test to work in this bakery. Everyone is surprised, thinking he'll surely fail. But will he really? The old man sets the test for 8 p.m. With the old man's support, Taku acts cocky toward the manager. He tells him, I'll find who has the windmill tattoo. Just wait and see. Meanwhile, the rich dad who searched for Taku 12 years finds the gang leader who fought Taku. But he'd never guess. Taku is now taking the bakery test. What he doesn't know is that taking the test with him is grown-up Majun. To test their talent, the old man prepares a dirty bread. After tasting it, they must find which dough made it. Majun's method is putting dough in his mouth to taste. He quickly writes his answer. Taku's method is weird. He smells the dough. After long sniffing, he writes his answer. Majun's answer is, dough number 4 made the dirty bread. When he explains his choice, everyone looks impressed. The old man asks Taku, why did you pick dough number 5? Taku says no. He thinks all 5 doughs could be correct. Everyone is stunned by his answer. They look annoyed, but the old man smiles. He announces that the correct answer is dough number 4. The old man praises Majun. He's only the 4th person in 5 years to find the right answer. He's a rare talent. So he allows Majun to enter the bakery and learn from him. But the old man also wants Taku to join the bakery to learn from him. Everyone is shocked again. They wonder why he's doing this. The master says the answer is indeed number 4. But all the doughs are made with the same ingredients. The difference in taste comes from the mixing time. Taku could tell just by smelling them, without even tasting. Taku is a once-in-a-thousand-years baking genius. I'd rather take him as my student. Taku is overjoyed. He's happy because, after searching for his mother, who was kidnapped 12 years ago, sleeping under the open sky, he finally has a place to eat, sleep, and live. Even happier, he can enter the bakery. This way he can find the person who took his mother. The master asks Taku, I still don't know your name. Taku proudly says, I'm Taku. When Majun hears this, he freezes. Isn't this the half-brother I've been trying to avoid? Majun, who just returned from abroad, hid his true identity to learn baking from the master. He came to Palbong Bakery under the name Seo Taejo, but fate brought him and Taku together again. Taku doesn't know his classmate is Ma Jun. Though Taku joined the bakery, the manager dislikes him. He doesn't let Taku learn baking. Instead, he teases him, making him carry flour sacks. Jack, a worker at the bakery, sees Taku working hard to find his mother. He hands him a bottle of water. Taku shares his story with Jack, the only one who shows him kindness. Taku thinks this guy, Jack, can't be the bad man with a windmill tattoo on his wrist, or he wouldn't have given him water. But what he doesn't know is Jack is the one who kidnapped his mom years ago. Meanwhile, Taku's rich father, who searched for him 12 years, suddenly visits Palbong Bakery. The old baker turns out to be his former teacher. He invites the old master to his bread company's 30th anniversary. At another nearby bakery, thugs suddenly start smashing things. These thugs were sent by the butler to catch Taku. When Taku is nearly beaten unconscious, Jack punches a thug to the ground. During the fight, Taku sees the windmill tattoo on Jack's wrist. He freezes in shock. First, he can't believe the man he searched for 12 years is the same guy who helped him. Second, he might finally learn where his missing mother is. After the fight, Jack begs for Taku's forgiveness. He tells Taku how his mother fell off a cliff. When Taku learns the mother he searched for 12 years died in the fall, he screams in pain. He can't hold back anymore, grabbing a stick to avenge his mother. The rich lady stays surprisingly calm when seeing a stranger with a stick in her mansion at night. She doesn't panic, but asks for the young man's name. Taku shouts, "I'm Taku, Misan's son. You ordered my mom's kidnapping 12 years ago. Did you forget? Now my mom is dead dash. I'll make you pay." Suddenly, Taku remembers his teacher's wise words. Living kindly means letting go of hate and anger. That's probably what your mother meant by living a good life. How about making peace with this bread now? Making peace with the hatred and painful memories in your heart. Taku puts down the iron rod in his hand. He kneels on the ground looking at the mansion that should have been his. Now it's home to the rich woman who caused his mother's death. An eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. Taku returns to his childhood place, watching the house where his father makes bread. He doesn't go to call him dad, but stands there dumbly watching his father bake. He realizes that for 12 years his father has been searching for him, missing him all this time. Overcome with emotion, Taku drops the iron rod. But when his father hears the noise and comes out, Taku has already disappeared. Taku has a luxurious family villa, but doesn't stay there. Instead, he sleeps under a bridge covered with newspapers. Nearby, an irresponsible father is violently beating his daughter. This reminds Taku of his crush Yu Kyung, who was also often beaten by her father. Taku can't take it anymore. Just as he's about to step in, a pretty girl beats him to it, scolding the irresponsible father. As they argue, police officers arrive. The girl punches the man and runs away. Taku follows with another punch, then picks up the girl's dropped bag to return it to her. As they both run desperately, the girl's hat falls to the ground. Taku praises her courage. Then he notices she's injured on her head. The girl says, "What's wrong with that? Can you go kill him for me?" Taku freezes at these words. He's so shocked he doesn't even notice when the girl runs past him. He remembers what Yu Kyung told him as a child. "Can you kill him for me? Can you kill the person who beats me?" When he realizes the girl is Yu Kyung, she's already gone. By chance, Taku finds Yu Kyung's hat. It has the name of her university on it. When Yu Kyung returns to school, her classmate Jarim invites her to an event hosted by Jarim's father, the 30th anniversary celebration of the bread company. Coincidentally, Yu Kyung's classmate turns out to be Taku's second sister, Jarim. When Jarim tells Yu Kyung that her brother, Ma Jun, who studied abroad, will also attend, Yu Kyung remembers what Taku said when they parted as kids. He was going to the city to find his rich father. After that, their childhood romance ended. Now in college, Yu Kyung meets Jarim and learns Taku's father is actually Jarim's dad. Jarim mentioned her brother was studying overseas. Yu Kyung didn't want to attend at first, but hearing Jarim's brother has returned from abroad, Yu Kyung checks the time and decides to see Taku after 12 years. Meanwhile, Taku follows the address on the hat and arrives at Yu Kyung's school. As they pass each other, Taku suddenly turns around, as if sensing something. He follows Yu Kyung quietly, too nervous to approach her. Taku doesn't know Yu Kyung is heading to his father's celebration. Seeing the posters at the venue, Taku realizes this is Giant Group's 30th anniversary party. At the party, Yu-kyung learns Jarim's brother is actually Ma-jun, who they briefly met as children. When Yu-kyung asks about Jarim's other brother, Jarim says she only has one brother, Ma-jun. They've completely forgotten about Taku, who left to find his mother. Outside, Taku waits, but the butler who's been searching for him appears. Taku exposes the butler's 12-year-old lie. 12 years ago you promised, if I left my rich father, you'd spare my mother. I left immediately, but you killed her anyway. I'll kill you. But Taku can't fight all the bodyguards. The butler orders his men to take the beaten Taku away, planning to make him disappear forever. Meanwhile, Yu-kyung leaves the party early, disappointed at not finding Taku. Taku suddenly finds strength and overpowers several guards. He escapes successfully. When Yu-kyung returns home, Taku is waiting for her. Taku sings the childhood lullaby he used to comfort Yu-kyung. They finally recognize each other in this moment. After eating together, they reluctantly say goodbye. That day the rich lady unexpectedly receives a letter calling her a murderer. This shocks her completely. She immediately shows it to the butler. When the butler sees it, his eyes nearly pop out of his head. Both start panicking. The rich lady thinks no one could know about them killing the rich man's mother 12 years ago, because only they were there that day. She believes it must still be Taku getting revenge for his missing mother, now trying to extort money from them using these dirty tricks. She tells the butler to find a way to eliminate Taku quickly. But what they don't know is all this was done by the maid Misan. How did Misan manage this? The rich lady hired a private doctor named Tom for her daughter. This same Dr. Tom had taken in Misan as a nurse at his clinic when she was pregnant with the rich man's son and running away. But he has feelings for Misan. Dr. Tom asks Misan, why not stay and live with me? But to escape the butler's pursuit, Misan had to leave with her newborn baby. When the butler sees Dr. Tom whispering with a servant, he thinks Dr. Tom looks familiar. He asks, haven't we met before? Calmly Dr. Tom replies, maybe at the hospital I meet many people as a doctor. The butler doesn't think more about it. On the anniversary of the rich man's mother's death, something strange happens again. When Ma-jun kneels to pay respects to his grandmother, her portrait suddenly falls down. The guilty rich lady sees this and faints from fright as Dr. Tom leaves. After giving her an injection, he exchanges a secret look with a servant. The rich lady, feeling guilty, faints immediately as Dr. Tom leaves. After giving the injection, he secretly signals to a household servant. It turns out he was working with the servant from inside and outside. That's how they pulled off this strange plan. Dr. Tom gets back into the car. He reports everything to Misan. Everything went smoothly. Meanwhile, the rich man notices something odd about his mother's portrait frame. It's clear someone tampered with it elsewhere. Taku smells gas in the bakery. He turns and sees Jack lighting a lighter. At the last second, Taku tackles him to the ground. Jack narrowly escapes danger, but the accident leaves Taku blind. Meanwhile, the butler answers a call. He says, yeah, got it. I'll transfer the money as agreed. Good job. At the bakery, the old man also finds the gas tank. Someone tampered with it. This means someone in the bakery is working for the butler. Meanwhile, the struggling bakery group gets a mysterious investor. The secret investor is Misan. The investor tells Dr. Tom, we can take over the rich woman's shares within 2 years. But Dr. Tom hushes him. He worries Misan can't wait that long. Ever since she fell off the cliff, drifted down the river, and was saved by him, her eyesight has been getting worse. While she can still see, she wants to witness the rich woman's downfall that day. Taku goes to the hospital for an eye checkup. Luckily, the doctor tells him his vision will slowly recover. Meanwhile, the mother he searched for 12 years is brought by Dr. Tom to the same hospital for an eye exam. Now his mother stands behind him, but he can't see her, and when she looks at him, her vision grows blurrier. They sense each other's presence, but one has injured eyes and the other is losing her sight. Just 2 meters apart, mother and son can't recognize each other. They miss their chance to reunite. After returning home, Taku removes the bandage from his eyes. Handsome faces appear before him. After a month of treatment, his vision is restored. He cries like a 2-year-old child. Then, under the bakery manager's guidance, he works hard to learn how to knead dough to make beautiful bread quickly. He practices his speed using eggs. As time passes, he can make all kinds of bread. He shares this joy with his mother, who he thinks is in heaven. Now he has moved past the pain of losing his mother. But what he doesn't know is his mother is still alive and looking for him. Meanwhile, Taku's mother, Misan, continues her revenge plan. The rich lady receives a threatening letter, but strangely, she finds the same letter in the butler's office. She compares it with the one she got. They're identical. Then she remembers how cold she's been to the butler lately, which upset him. She asked him to find out who sent the letters, but he couldn't. She also thinks about how only they two know about the rich man's mother's death. Now she suspects the butler is behind all this, maybe to threaten her, but it's actually Misan's doing. She's turning the butler and the lady against each other. So they fight. While she benefits, Misan tells Dr. Tom to start the next step of the plan. Meanwhile, 2 years ago the rich lady borrowed money to buy Giant Group shares. Now the debt collectors are after her, but Giant Group is still losing money badly. Chairman No suggests she uses her company's shares as payment, but the lady doesn't realize she's falling into Misan's trap step by step. Meanwhile, at the 8 Peaks Bakery, the master baker announces an important decision. Anyone who passes 3 tests will get his certification and become the true bread king. Everyone works hard for this. The first test is tomorrow. Others have gone home, but Taku keeps practicing. He doesn't notice his rich father, who searched for him for 12 years, has arrived. The father came to see his old teacher, but the master went out for a walk. Following the smell of bread, he enters. When Taku turns around he freezes, but the father he missed so much doesn't recognize his grown-up son. The father shares his bread-making tips from his apprentice days. Turns out his amazing baker father learned here too. Taku asks his father how to keep bread from drying out. The father explains to balance lost moisture with steam from the oven. But maintaining moisture requires personal practice. Only through experience will you truly learn. Impressed by the eager young man, the father asks his name. Holding back tears, Taku says, "Just call me John." The father smiles, "Good name. We'll meet again if fate allows." He leaves after 2 steps. Taku stops him, bows deeply at 90 degrees, thanking him for the lesson. Once his father leaves, he can't hold back. Tears fall like rain. Taku didn't reveal himself, wanting to succeed first before reuniting. After turning around, the rich man meets his other son, Majun. But when Majun joined the bakery to learn baking, he hid his true identity. No one knows he's the rich man's son. Seeing this, the father doesn't reveal Majun's identity either. He just pats his shoulder and tells him to prepare well for tomorrow's Bread King test. This simple pat makes Majun emotional. It's the first time his father has shown him such care. That night, both brothers can't sleep after receiving their father's attention. They talk about the rich man they met today. But Taku doesn't know Majun's true identity. He pretends not to recognize their father and says the man seems nice and warm. "I wish I had a father like that," he says. But Majun knows the truth. He asks Taku, "Don't you have a father?" Taku says of course he does, but they've been apart for long. Majun asks why he doesn't look for him. Taku says it's not the right time yet. "My father once told me I'm his special son. I want to succeed first before properly reuniting with him." Hearing this, Majun starts thinking deeply. So their father already chose Taku, but for him today was the first time ever he got his father's approval. He joined the bakery to prove his worth to his father. Majun decides he must defeat Taku in tomorrow's test. The next day the first test begins. The challenge: make bread that gives people the fullest feeling. Contestants only have 5 days to prepare and 501 for ingredients. Everyone complains about the tight deadline and small budget. This won't be easy. All contestants carefully prepare their ingredients to earn the Bread King certificate. Only Taku seems lost. He doesn't know how to make filling bread late at night. He's still trying to figure it out. Just then Taku hears noises coming from the bakery. He thinks it's someone working hard like him preparing for the competition. But when he enters the bakery, he finds an open bag of baking soda. As expected, trouble follows. The next day contestants discover their dough won't rise. An investigation shows someone put baking soda in the dough, ruining it completely. They barely had enough money for ingredients. Now it's worse. Clearly someone sabotaged them. Majun remembers Taku showed him baking soda last night. Taku gets blamed unfairly, but he never did such a thing. He can't accept Majun's false accusation. They start fighting. The master baker hears about this. He doesn't care. Who's right? Fighting is wrong either way. He bans them for 3 days. They're already short on time. This punishment makes everything worse. Worse still, Taku can't prove he didn't use baking soda. The master orders him to buy flour for the 3 victims as compensation. Taku feels completely wronged. Jack investigates the incident. He notices the soda's price matches Mike's dropped receipt. Jack confronts Mike. Mike gets nervous. When questioned, Jack finds a large deposit in Mike's account. He traces the money to Giant Bread's butler, who paid Mike to frame Taku. Jack also tells Taku the bakery explosion that nearly blinded him 2 years ago was also Mike's doing. Taku stands frozen in shock even when Mike kneels and begs forgiveness. Taku doesn't react. Taku is angry because he had already forgiven the butler for killing his mother. But the butler still won't leave him alone. So he takes Mike to confront the butler. They arrive at Giant Star Bakery Company, where Taku's rich father happens to see Taku and Jack from behind. This gives him a familiar feeling, but the rich man leaves without thinking much about it. When Taku finally meets the butler insists he doesn't know Mike. Mike looks completely confused. The butler says arrogantly, "Even if you go to the police, which side do you think they'll take?" Taku gets so angry he wants to punch him, but Jack holds him back. He tells Taku, revenge is a dish best served cold. On their way back, kind-hearted Taku still forgives Mike. Taku uses his material funds to buy flour for all 3 of them. He doesn't want to affect their test. With little time and limited materials, Taku doesn't give up on the competition. He chooses affordable ingredients to make bread so poor people who beg for food can afford to buy it and feel full. Though his bread doesn't look fancy, it's the most filling bread. The master baker approves it in the first round. Meanwhile, the rich man remembers what he saw at the company. From Jack's tall figure, he recognizes him as the man he sent to protect Taku's mother years ago. He also feels he's seen Taku's mother somewhere recently. He decides to ask Jack for answers. The rich man learns the son he's searched for 12 years is the young man he saw at the bakery before. His own son was right before him, yet he didn't recognize him. Tears instantly fill his eyes. The next day, he returns to the bakery. He doesn't reveal himself as Taku's father, but tells Taku he wants to taste the bread Taku made for his test. Taku never expected that his father already knew who he was. He starts making bread just like his father used to, first checking the air humidity. His father fights back tears as he watches, waiting for his son to finish the bread. Soon Taku serves the bread to his father. Father takes a deep breath to smell it first. Tears roll down as he eats. This might be the most delicious and happiest bread he's ever tasted. Seeing his father's reaction, Taku thinks his bread tastes bad, that he used wrong ingredients. The rich man says it's delicious, really delicious. Taku. Silence speaks louder than words. Father and son, separated for 12 years, finally reunite at this moment. Father asks Taku to come home, says, Giant Bakery Group waits for him. But Taku refuses. He believes he still has much to learn and still misses his mother. Only by living as Taku does he think his mother will return. Father respects Taku's choice, lets him keep learning at the bakery. But the rich man later holds a shareholders meeting to discuss the heir, angering the butler. Meanwhile, Misan speeds up her revenge plan. Before going completely blind, she'll make those who took her son pay one by one back with the rich man. His secretary brings a mysterious call. Secretary tells him, someone says, if you call this number, you'll get news about an old friend in Chongsan. He makes the call. It's his old lover Misan. Now he learns Misan never died. She tells him to drive alone to Chongsan, saying she has important news. On his way there, the rich man notices someone following him. The thugs were sent by the butler earlier. When the butler learned that the rich man planned to leave Giant Bakery Group to Taku, he became angry. After working as butler for decades, he wanted his son, Majun, to inherit Giant Group. Now that his plan might be exposed, he decides to kill the rich man. The rich man steps on the brakes, but they don't work. The butler had tampered with the car while trying to avoid an oncoming truck with no brakes. The car crashes off the road. Meanwhile, Misan keeps waiting, but the rich man never arrives. She realizes something must have happened. The rich man lies motionless in the wrecked car next day. The butler pretends to rush to the scene, but police tell him they only found the badly damaged car with no one inside. Misan had actually rescued him. When he wakes up, he's in a small house in the mountains. He's shocked to see Misan outside. The secrets hidden by the butler and the rich wife are about to be revealed. On the night the rich wife and butler killed the rich man's mother, it was raining. The rich wife's wet clothes were noticed by a maid doing laundry. The maid wondered why a rich woman would get her clothes so wet. She remembered seeing the rich wife wearing those same clothes going to the basement with the butler. Soon after the mother was killed. Years later, the maid told Misan about this. Now Misan tells everything to the rich man. Hearing this, he understands everything. The rich wife and butler must have killed his mother. This is just the first step of Misan's revenge. While the family worries about his disappearance, he suddenly returns. The rich wife hugs him, pretending to care, but he pushes her away. He goes to his late mother's portrait, determined to re-examine this family. Now the butler and the rich wife realize something is wrong. The butler tells her that 12 years ago Misan, who they tried to kill, didn't die. The butler also found out that the threatening letters sent to the house were part of Misan's plan. She bribed a servant. They decide to use the servants to trick Misan and lure her out. The rich wife purposely tells the servants she plans to meet Taku. The servant will surely pass this news to Misan, who's been searching for her son. Soon Misan gets the message. Dr. Tom, always cautious, thinks it's suspicious. He tells Misan not to rush. It might be the butler's trap. But Misan says, I've waited 14 years to see my son. So what if they find me? I've already survived death once. I'm not afraid of them. That day Misan goes to the meeting spot. She sees the rich wife step out of a car. Soon a young man who looks like Taku also gets out. But Misan doesn't know this is a trap set by the rich wife and the butler. Misan thinks she'll finally see the son she's searched for 14 years. But when the young man turns around, she realizes he's not her son, Taku. She then drives away, leading the rich wife to the cliff where she once narrowly escaped death. She grabs the rich wife and jumps with her, choosing to die together to end their 12-year feud. But of course, things don't go as planned. The rich man arrives and stops Misan. He reveals the truth from years ago. He tells Misan, I should have been the one thrown off the cliff. It's all my fault. Back then, I wanted Taku to be my son, to erase you from his life and make him the family's heir. I sent people to take you away. I thought I could take Taku away from you this way. If it weren't for my selfishness, this wouldn't have happened. But now Taku has grown into a fine young man. He's a talented baker. Don't you want to see him? Misan freezes when she hears this. Her son she's been searching for 12 years is still alive. She can't control her emotions anymore and bursts into tears. She lets go of her hatred, thinking she can finally find her son. But then the rich man starts shaking uncontrollably at the hospital. Doctors say it's a brain hemorrhage. No one knows when he'll wake up. This is because of his previous car accident, which left lasting effects. Meanwhile, the butler takes this chance to sneak into the rich man's study. He rummages through everything, looking for the stock transfer documents. The rich wife hears the noise and scolds him. Are you crazy? My husband is still in the hospital, and you're already trying to take over. When the butler tells her, I'm doing this for our son, Ma-jun, don't you remember? Taku is legally the first son now. If the stocks transfer by will or by order, Ma-jun isn't first in line. It's Taku. Hearing this, the rich wife wants to make Ma-jun the heir. So she starts searching too, but they can't find anything. The rich man had already planned for this. If anything happened to him, Lawyer Park should immediately find Taku at Palbong Bakery and transfer all his rights and stocks to him. In his letter, he tells Taku, Guzon Group depends on you now. When Taku hears his father is sick, he remembers his father's words. Father once said, there aren't many people around me I can trust. I don't even know who to believe or who to doubt. Taku decides to follow his father's wishes. He returns to the home he left 12 years ago to reclaim everything that belongs to him. He announces to everyone present that he is Taku, the rich man's son. When people hear this, they are all shocked by his confident attitude and freeze in surprise. The rich wife tries to hit him, but Taku is no longer the same person. He's not the helpless kid from before. He says, I want to see my father. Get out of my way now. Taku enters the room and sees his unconscious father for the first time. He calls him Dad, but this also means Taku must officially take over his father's company. The rich wife insults him, saying he only appeared suddenly because he wants his father's money. But Taku slowly takes out from his pocket legal papers, showing his father gave him all company shares and power. This shuts everyone up. The family members look at it with shocked expressions. This can't be true. When the rich wife sees her husband's clear handwriting on the document, she and the butler panic. Ma-jun looks suspicious. How did father know he'd have an accident? How could he give Taku power in advance? Taku replies, I'm curious too. Why father suddenly made me the company's representative? But since he gave it to me, I'll use this power properly. Until father wakes up, I'll move my things here and take good care of him. Taku stands firm, leaving the shocked rich wife behind. Later the rich wife and butler wonder why the rich man gave no shares to Ma-jun. Does he know Ma-jun isn't his real son? They had planned that with their shares plus Ma-jun's shares, they could control the whole company. But the rich man outsmarted them. The rich wife comes to complain to her unconscious husband. She promises to help her son, Ma-jun, regain control of the company. You gave everything to Taku. I'll make sure to crush him again. After the rich wife leaves Lawyer Park, enters the tycoon's room, he tells the tycoon, everything is going according to your plan. Suddenly the tycoon opens his eyes. He had actually woken up long ago. On the day of the board meeting, Taku prepares bread he made himself for the shareholders. The same popular bread giant bakery sold over a decade ago. Not the unpopular bread they sell now. He tells the shareholders, I never went to school as a child. I wandered around looking for my mother. But I believe the reason Giant Bakery survived for 30 years is because of the original bread flavor. Baking is all I know how to do. Maybe that's why. My father put me in this position. Angry Ma-jun argues with Taku. Times change, tastes change. How can we run a big company? By using old recipes. Taku replies, keeping the original flavor can be a fresh start too. Before being a company, we should remember, we're bakers first. The shareholders are moved by Taku's words. Now Lawyer Park understands why the tycoon chose Taku. As his successor Lawyer Park once asked why he specifically chose Taku, the tycoon said, because that boy has sincerity. You'll understand when you meet him how touching that boy's sincerity is. Taku wins the shareholders' approval. Meanwhile, Taku's mother hears about her son and comes to the company. Misan remembers when she left her son years ago. He was just a little boy. After 12 years apart, he's now grown up and successful. She wonders if she'll recognize him. She gets so emotional she almost faints. Just then Taku steps out of the elevator. As they're about to pass each other, maybe because of mother-son connection, Taku suddenly stops walking. Seeing the unwell woman, he instinctively helps her to the lounge. Since she's facing away from him, he doesn't recognize his mother. But just as he's about to see her face, someone calls his name Mr. Taku. Hearing this, his mother realizes it's the son she hasn't seen in 12 years. She slowly turns her head, finally seeing her grown-up son. She can't believe her eyes. When she last saw him 12 years ago, Taku was just a crying little boy. Now he's the company chairman. Seeing her successful son, she tries to call out to him, but something goes wrong. Her vision starts blurring. She weakly calls his name, Taku, then collapses unconscious. Taku hears someone call him, but sees nobody. When he turns, thinking he imagined it, he leaves at the hospital. Doctors tell Misan, without a retina transplant, soon she'll go blind in 2 to 3 months. Dr. Tom worries about Misan's worsening eyesight and wants to call Taku, but Misan stops him. She says her son suffered enough, but still grew up well. While she spent years planning revenge, she doesn't know how to face him now. Her son is doing great things, but she can't help him at all. She fears reuniting might hurt his future. Little does she know Taku suffered too. Searching for her all these years, Dr. Tom secretly finds Taku anyway and tells him everything about his mother's feelings. Taku and Dr. Tom rush to the hospital. After searching for 12 years, Taku is finally about to meet his mother. His heart pounds, his hands shake, but when they open the door, the hospital room is empty. Both men are completely confused. The butler wanted Misan's company shares, so he sent Jack to kidnap her. Taku realizes something bad happened to his mom. He rushes out to look for her, but can't find her in the car, kidnapped. Misan sees Jack's face. This reminds her of what happened 12 years ago, when she was also kidnapped by Jack. But this time is different. Taku checks security cameras and learns Jack took his mother. He can't believe Jack did it again. Meanwhile, Misan is brought to the butler. The butler forces her to sign share transfer papers. Misan won't let her son's position be threatened. She tears the papers to pieces. The butler orders his men to take her away. Then Jack steps forward. He wants to finish what he started 12 years ago. Taku arrives at the same time, but Misan is already forced into a car by Jack. The same thing that happened 12 years ago repeats after 12 years apart. Mother and son meet in this terrible situation. Taku won't miss his chance to reunite. He can't outrun a car, but this time he has a car. He chases them at full speed. Jack suddenly opens the car door, letting Misan escape on purpose. Jack fights off the thugs who try to chase Misan. Misan escapes safely. Taku finds his mother. Mother and son finally reunite. They hug each other happily. Taku takes her to Palbong Bakery, where she can stay temporarily. Soon Taku falls asleep beside his mother. Meanwhile, Jack calls the rich man. Turns out Jack was a spy, the rich man placed near the butler. He was there to collect evidence of the butler's crimes. Now the butler finds the rich wife, telling her big trouble is coming. But the wife reveals Ma-jun already knew about 12 years ago when we killed the rich man's mother. He was there that night. He kept this secret hidden in his heart all these years. What should we do? Just then lightning flashes across the sky. The rich man is secretly listening at the door. He swears he won't forgive them. Seeing he can't hide the truth anymore, the butler drops his kind act and shows his true cruel nature. Sorry, but your time is over. Then he pushes the weak rich man down to the ground. The wife pretends to help her husband up, still making excuses for herself. I never did anything to hurt you. The rich man refuses to let her touch him. Ma-jun suddenly appears and helps his father, telling him to lean on his shoulder after taking his father to his room. Ma-jun confesses 12 years ago, when Mom and the butler killed Grandma. He was there watching. If only I'd been stronger. Maybe Grandma wouldn't have died. The only thing I could do was knock on your door. So you'd find Grandma lying in the rain. Now the rich man understands. That night, when he was woken by knocking, it was Ma-jun who did it. Ma-jun tells his father, I should have told you sooner. Someone like me doesn't deserve to be your son. Should never have been born. Ma-jun doesn't know how to tell his father. He's not his real son. So he quickly leaves. But the rich man already knew about his wife and butler's crimes. He also knows Ma-jun isn't his real son. If he hadn't cheated on his wife years ago, none of this would have happened. The rich man chooses to turn a blind eye and tolerate everything. He always treats Ma-jun as his own son. But he never expected his wife and butler killed his mother. Later he discovers the butler is secretly trying to steal his company. So he sends Jack to spy on the butler. Now it's time to end this. Jack has proof of the butler's crimes. For old time's sake, he gives the butler two choices. Go to prison or take a plane ticket and leave the country forever. He wants to keep this secret hidden. He won't let their sons pay for their father's mistakes. The butler chooses the ticket and is taken to the airport. This seems like the best ending. But the butler changes his mind. He wants to make one last try for his son Ma-jun. He lies about forgetting something, then tricks Taku by saying his father wants to see him, leading him to the rooftop. He plans to die together with Taku. He thinks killing Taku will let Ma-jun inherit everything. Greed has clouded his mind. Luckily, Jack arrives in time and saves Taku. He rejects heaven and chooses hell instead. Cold handcuffs await him. The rich man forgives his wife. She can stay or leave, it's her choice. But she'll get nothing more from him ever again. Meanwhile, Taku works hard and creates a new bread recipe. Sales grow rapidly. Just as the rich man plans to give him the company, Taku lets his eldest sister become chairman instead. He believes he's always been a baker at heart, while his elder sister has been running the company. So giving the company to her is the best choice. Taku finally decides to return to Palbong Bakery. First, he can take good care of his mother. Second, he can make the most filling, most fun, and happiest bread in the world. One day his good friend Ma-jun visits the bakery. He asks Taku, how did you endure such a hard life? Taku replies, to survive as long as you're alive. Nothing is truly over. Life doesn't end just because today is good. Good times and bad times will all pass eventually. This is where our story ends. We hope you've learned something from Taku's journey. Thank you for watching. See you in our next drama.